Nun Zayin of an Aleph. I'm also going to learn Nun Ches, because Nun Zayin is a small blot. There is a summary of all the Hilchos Korban Pesach, which maybe we'll do right before Pesach as a method of preparing ourselves for Pesach. So the Gemara said, "Nema tlosa tanoi hovu." That there might be a three-way machlokas tanoim regarding the issue of Peah. Gemara says, "Lo trade tanoi hovu." It's only two tanoim. The Tanakh at Rabbi Shimon, Hainu Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi Tanakh is Rabbi Shimon's Tanakh is Rabbi Yossi, and the Tanakh Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Shimon. Well, my Af Akamais, it's only going on the first price, so it's really only a two-way machlokas. Tanarabon, Ben Boyayon, the son of Boyayon, would give Peah for the vegetables. Uba Aviv, the father came home, the Aniyim were fighting out of the garden, and they were holding the vegetables that were given to them as Peah. Amar lahem bonai, hashlichum aleichem, just you should dump what you have in your hands. I'll give you double from produce that has been true meisers and the proper meiser has been given. Because remember, by taking Peah from Yerek, which is not mechuyev in Peah, so you're going to affect the trumas, the tevel status. I'm telling you to get rid of it, not because I'm cheap. Because the Chachamim say you're not supposed to use Peah Yerek. You're going to use this Peah. You're going to think that it's potter from Trumas and Maestras. Since Meikar Din, it's not Peah, so you'd have to give Trumas and Maestras. Normal Peah is potter. It's going to lead to a kilkul. So the Gemara wants to know, why did you have to say, oh, not because I'm cheap? Because maybe they would say, oh, he's just pushing us away. It's not really the appropriate halach. We have to be told that it is the appropriate halach. That the hides of kodshe kodshim were given to the Kohanim. And the Kohanim would leave them, they would be put in the office called Lishkas Pesach Parva. And there were 6 Batei Av that came each week. Each family, each Beis Av took one day. So at the end of the day, that Beis Av would divide the hides. But there were stronger Kohanim, sort of like mafiosi, who would take all of the hides. So rather than do it Batei Av per Batei Av, they did it the whole family, the whole mishmar. Remember, there were 24 mishmaros to handle 24 weeks. Then they repeated it, so each mishmar would come to the base of English for 2 weeks out of the year. And that covered 48 weeks. The other 4 weeks were the various Shabbos, with Yomim Tovim and all the other days, where anybody could come. So then they divided these hides between the Mishmar family, figuring that it would be more equitable. There were the Choshev Kohanim of the family that would somehow grab all these hides. So Amdu Bailim, the owners who brought these korbanos to avoid all of this strife, normally when you brought a korban, the hides automatically went to the Kohanim. But the Bailim started to say, no, we're going to be Magdish, the Oirois, to the Beis HaMikdash. Now, the value of the hides were so great that they covered the whole Beis Hamikdash with tablets of gold that were an amma by an amma ka'ovei din zav, the width of a din zav. V'laregel hayu makaplin oson. They would fold this up. Yontif v'nichlos al gabi malabar bais. They would put it up on a ladder on Harabais. Kadeshi oile regolim roin shlachta not bein bandala. They would show that it's a beautiful work and that there's no anias in the Beis Hamikdash. It's a very wealthy place. Tana b'shol oimer, similar story, and this is how we ended up with the problem in the Mishnah in Yericho, where they had gidule, further growth of things that they were magdish. There was sycamore trees, and there were lumber from the sycamore trees. The mafiosi would appropriate all of these boards from their owners. So the owners were magdish them to the Beis Hamikdash. Aleim hakayotze behem. Now, on those kind of kohanim, Amar Abashpol ben Batis, B'Shama Yos ben Chodin, oily based baisus, oily ma'alasim, that the family of baisus, they would have sticks that they would beat people with. So, woe is to us regarding them. Oily based chanin, oily melchashasan. This family, they would be malshin on people. Oily based katrus, oily miklumusan. The Kohanim of Kasrus family, they would have a very sharp pen. They would write things that wouldn't be truthful. Oily based Yishmael ben Piachi, oily me'agroifon. Woe is to their fists. They were tough people. Shehem Kohanim Gdoilim. They themselves, Yishmael was the Kohen Gadol, name Gizbarim. The sons were treasurers. The Chosneim Amar Kolin, the sons-in-law were like the general officers. The Avdein Chotis Maklis, and their servants would beat the people with sticks. Torah that the Azara would cry out about these things. Right? In Sefer Shmuel, we're going to learn about the sons of Eli who did inappropriate things. Because it says, Asher Yishkavunas Anoshim. It's not that they slept with them, they would delay them so they wouldn't go home and be with their husbands. Go out from here, he had so much arrogance that he would wrap his hands in like nylon because he didn't want them to get dirty. And when you do the avoida, you can't have a chatzitza, you can't have any separation between your hand and the korban. At another time, the Azar said, open up the gates and let Yishmael ben Piochi come in. It was a time of Pinchas. V'yishamish b'kahuna gedol. V'otzav chazar susha moshechem. V'kanis Yechonim ben Arboy tamid shel Pinkoi. Another time of Pinchas. V'malo kreis mikotche shamayim. He was a big eater. They would call him in whenever there was noiser, whenever there was food left over, so he could finish up the food. He would be able to eat 300 calves. The choice of shlomas garbayad, he could drink 300 jugs of wine. And he would eat 40 saw of little birds as dessert. As while he was alive, it was never noiser. Now, my salka baby socha ishkvar bar koi. What was this? What happened to this Yisachar who used to wrap his hands so that they wouldn't get dirty? Amri, Malka u'Malka Zavi Yosfi. His time there was already a Chashmonai king, and there was the king and the queen. Malka Amr Gadya Yoi, the king said goats taste better. U'Malka Amra Imra Yoi. She said sheep taste better. Amru, Man Muchav. Who's going to give us the answer? Kohen Gadol. The Kamasi Korban is called Yom. The Kohen Gadol is allowed to partake from every korban every day. So they figured the Kohen Gadol would know best which meat tasted better. Also, Ihu, and he sort of made a bizoyan dika move with his hand. Igadya Yoi, whoever likes goat, Yosik Lismida, he did it in a very bizoyandic way, trashing goat meat. Since now the king was the one who said goat meat was the best. Amr Malka, he doesn't have any fear of the king. Nifsakuli Yamine. They should cut his right hand off. Remember, a Kohen Gadol Kohen does all of his avodah with his hand, the right hand. So he gave bribe. So they cut off his left hand. Shama Malka, the queen heard that he tricked by bribery. So they cut off both of his hands. That he was lucky that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made him suffer in this world. Otherwise, his punishments in the next world would have been greater. He didn't that there's really no difference between goat and sheep. And Rav Ashi points out he never learned the Mishnah. This is not Rav Shimon Omer. Whenever you have a choice, you always choose sheep over goats. Are they because they're a better species? No. The pasuk says in Keves Yavi Korbano, they're equal. Ravina Amar Filu Mikra Nami Loikra Tchsiv Im Keves Im Eis. He boy Keves Lysi, boy I Eis Lysi. Means if you want, you could bring a sheep. If you want to bring a goat, one is not better than the other. Harlach Makam Shanagu, Uslikala Pesach Rishon, Harlach Makam Shanagu, Uslikala Pesach Rishon, Harlach Makam Shanagu, Uslikala Pesach Rishon. So we're going to start.